What's going on, traders? Welcome to this week's Forex forecast. Let me know in the comments down below what pairs you're watching this week, and if you want a link to all my charts for daily chart analysis for only $5 CAD per month, there's a link in the description for Patreon. I hope to see you there. All right, first off, looking at the US dollar index, as you can see, we've had very nice downward pressure here. And momentum has been lost. We have a little demand zone here that I don't expect to hold, but on the dollar, I'm kind of just waiting right now to see what happens. Are we going to see a reaction off this demand zone? I'm not interested in buying the dollar until something like this happens where both of these supply zones are removed. So I'm either waiting for that to buy, which would take a while, or I'm waiting for at least this demand zone to be removed and hopefully that one as well. Then we will continue that downtrend, and I'd feel way more comfortable buying or shorting the dollar pairs. And with that being said, let's take a look at the euro. All right, looking at EURUSD the past week, the banks added 1,200 longs and got rid of 4,000 shorts, which helps with my bullish bias on the euro. As you can see, the opposite of the US dollar, we have had that momentum shift right now, but I do not expect this to hold. So right now, I am waiting for that daily supply to be removed. Then I'm gonna get long again. As mentioned before, I was long from down here. I ended up taking profits, I think, on this little dip down, like right there, just to lock in all my gains. And I'm gonna get back in. So I was happy with that trade. It was very nice. I was just adding on a couple times, and I made a very nice return. With that being said, if you're interested and want to get my zones and track all my zones and trend lines and trends and all that stuff, check out the Patreon. Link in the description. You get all of my zones marked out daily for only $5 CAD per month. It's a pretty good deal if you want to learn more about supply and demand and look at the zones that I'm looking at. It'll help a lot. Even if you don't trade supply and demand, let's say you trade support and resistance, well, you could pull up the chart. You sign up for Patreon, you pull up the chart. And then price, let's say it's up here, you're thinking of going long. Well, maybe you shouldn't go long because we're in this supply zone. And that's why I think it's a little bit of it's a good little feature that I wanted to add for so cheap. It might help you guys with the trading, like I said, even if you don't trade supply and demand. So check that out. Link is in the description. And like I said on this pair, I'm definitely just waiting for that supply zone to be removed before looking for longs again. And, ultimate targets would be pretty high up. If price does come down into this area here, I'm going to be looking for a 1 hour confirmation, but so far that has not taken place yet. So right now, just waiting on the euro. All right, on to Aussie dollar, AUDUSD. The past week, the banks added 287 longs and 1,400 short positions. If you've been watching my videos for a while, I just said stay away from this. It's just ranging in this mess right here. So I would just completely stay away from it. I haven't even really been checking on it, to be honest. The only way I've been checking on it is to track all the zones on the 4 hour, 1 hour time frames for the Patreon members, but I've just had no interest in trading this. I think I talked about it last week. For me to get long on this pair, I would have to see something like this. I still wouldn't be interested in buying. I'd have to see another low and then a new high like that. Then we could draw, the trend line. Then I would feel interested in buying, but it's just such a messy looking chart that I just don't even want to trade it. You could go down to a 4 hour. If you look here, if you're looking to get in short on the 4 hour, you could look at that zone right here. So you could hop down to a 15-minute chart and look for confirmation, and that would look probably something like this for that to be removed. But ultimately, it's probably this zone is the one that's going to hold price up right there. So if you're interested in that, check that out. But like I said, this daily time frame is just so messy that I am just staying away from it. All right, on to GBPUSD, the British pound. The past week, the banks added a whopping 11 longs and added 6,500 short positions. And that's as price comes up to here at these highs that we can see. So I think this one's ready to take off. They're still very long. They're 62% long. But like I said, with the Aussie dollar, I want to see a clean break, clean downward, like a downward motion to create a new valley like that, and then push price up like that before I start to get in long. But ultimately, if there is a daily demand area here like that, price shoots up, closes up here, and then starts to come back down, I 100% will be looking for 1 hour confirmation in this area if it does do something like that. But you know, this zone could happen up here. I actually prefer the zones like this to happen down here, because a lot of the time retail traders are looking at this as support and resistance, and what they do is it would be something like this, where let me just delete this if I can, where they would do something like this, where it'd be like, okay, old support becomes new resistance, and then price pushes up, and then they just buy, but then all their stops could be underneath here. So we could, if something like that does happen, we could even see a break between these lows and then shoot back up really quick. So kind of just waiting on the pound. Like I said, definitely not interested in shorting this pair. As you can see, it's trending up pretty nicely, but not buying it just yet. All right, on to USDJPY, the Japanese yen. The past week, the banks added 2,200 longs and added 5,300 short positions. Looking at the daily chart, we do have this pretty nice trend up. It's okay. It's really not a great trend. It's kind of just a smaller trend looking at this whole bigger picture. We definitely could see this tank. This could be the new high up here. As you can see, we barely missed this supply zone, but if you draw it like that, it's a little closer. So right now you could go down to a 4-hour chart like this, and you have a decent little trend line right there like that. So if price does come back up to this area up here, you could look for a 15-minute confirmation in there. What I'm personally looking for to short this is, I'm looking at this zone right here. Let me just change this. This is a 4-hour demand zone that's, I think, is going to have a hard time getting through. I think it's a very quality demand zone. So what we could see is a reaction off this 4-hour demand, and then a push down, and then that would create that 4-hour downtrend like that. Then we could start to look for, maybe there will be a supply zone like right here, and then we could start to look for that pullbacks to the short side like that. So that's what I'm waiting for, just because I don't see any, you know, quality demand zones here that are being removed. So this is really the only one that's going to hold up price. And you know, it could blast right through that, but then I'm going to be looking at the zone that does break that zone. But right now, I'm definitely not buying this pair at all. No interest in buying it. Like I said, if prices come back up to there, you could look for confirmation. And I'm actually going to set an alert there right now. So my alert is set. If price does come back up there, I'll look for some day trades in there. If not, like I said, just waiting for this key 4-hour zone to be removed first. All right, on to USDCAD. The past week, the banks added 1,300 longs and added 5,200 short positions. So still adding 2 short positions on the USDCAD. We've kind of just been in this little choppy range like this, but still trending down. I just haven't noticed anything on this 4-hour chart. We have had, you know, this kind of supply area like this hold pretty nicely. And obviously there's some sort of like support right here. So it's kind of ranging right now. Retail traders are probably eating this up. They're probably buying low, selling high. But I think if price does come back up to here now, we're going to see that spike through and trap out all these retail traders. And then if price comes down here, we could probably see a nice trap up. But then the breakout traders are probably going to try to short that. So then we'll probably see a lot of action like that and then push price to the downside. So right now I'm just waiting for a clear trend down on the 4-hour like this, similar to a lot of the other pairs, and then I will get in short. But right now on this 4-hour, I don't like to trade these ranges like this. As you know, if you've been watching a lot of my videos, I like to trade in trends. So you know, if you're looking for day trades, there's really not even much. I would not be looking for buys in that area, and I would not be looking for sells in this area. So you know, part of trading is just waiting around and finding the best opportunities. And right now, USDCAD is not showing us that. Like I said, just going to have to see a nice push down before getting in. All right, on to USDCHF. The past week, the banks added 190 longs and added 1,700 short positions. Daily chart, that's not looking good. It's just choppy, big mess. I want to see the chart look something like this, where new lows, and then you could get in short there. If we go to a 4-hour chart, really nothing going on. Very similar looking to USDCAD. We have 4-hour supply that's kind of holding up price right there like that. We do have some demand right here in the 4 hours, so you could be looking for, I thought about looking for a little day trade in this area, but I figured the best odds were to look for shorts. We had this 15-minute supply zone holding price up. It never really fully broke through. But right now, I wouldn't even be shorting this. I'd want to see a nice, very nice push down that breaks not only that, but that as well. And then we could look to get in short. If price does create a supply zone right here, I would be somewhat interested in taking that if there's a nice reaction from it. Something like this. But ultimately, it's similar to a lot of the other pairs. I want to see these 4 hours start to trend. I want to see this zone removed, nice peak, another valley. Then we could draw our trend line like this. And then we'd have that trend, and then I'd feel way more comfortable. Then you could start looking for 4-hour trades, 1-hour trades, 15-minute trades, stuff like that. So that's kind of what I'm waiting for on USDCHF. A lot of waiting, and you know, if there was some day trade levels you could take and look for confirmation in, I would say it, but I just don't see anything on a lot of these pairs. All right, on to gold. The past week, the banks added 560 longs and they added 1,500 short positions. I'm not surprised to see them start to add a couple shorts here and there, but really, ultimately, it's not a huge deal at all. If you've been watching my forecast, that's why I highly recommend doing it. I talked about this supply zone, how it's going to be a key zone, and it was clear reaction off of it. I didn't really want to short it, but I didn't really want to be buying up there, and it's a good thing if you didn't buy up there based on that. And that's why you should check out the Patreon, because then you'll get these zones. They're updated all the time. So if you went to a 4-hour chart to look for confirmation, there was this supply zone right here that never got hit. If you go to a 1 hour, there might have been something a little bit better. I guess you could draw that. So there was a little 1 hour supply zone confirmation right there. And that's a beauty of supply and demand right there. I didn't want to short it based on the higher time frames, but sometimes it works. Look at that profit right there. Pretty simple confirmation trade in my opinion. So that would have worked out pretty nicely. But based on the bank's positions, I didn't really want to be looking for short positions on gold. What I'm waiting for on gold is for, since we've created a new peak here, or valley, if we create a new peak up here, then I'm super interested in buying pullbacks. If not, which I kind of hope gold does come down to 1828 in this daily area of demand. And then what I'll do is I'll probably put a buy order at this whole daily area of demand like that. Target 2 to 1, maybe 3 to 1 for one position. Then I'm going to go down to the 1 hour time frame and look for confirmation in there. If you don't know what I look for confirmation, check out my video, Confirmation Trading 101. It explains everything. There's nothing that I don't do that's not in that video. So check that video out. So this daily area at 1828, 1830, I'm very interested in. I think this level will probably hold if price does come back up to there. If not, I'll be buying once this 1930 level is broken. All right, on to crude oil. The past week, the banks added 13,000 longs again, same as the previous week, and actually got rid of 2,700 shorts. So very bullish on oil right now. Waiting for this pullback to this daily area of demand like that, where I'll look for 1 hour confirmation because we have broken this high now, which is very important, which is what I've been talking about. I said this high is probably going to be broken, but I didn't want to be buying until it was. So right now you could be going down to the 4 hour chart, and we do have a little demand zone right here that's kind of decent. I'm actually going to mark that down right here. Let me make the alert. Let me edit the alert, and you guys should be doing this too. So look for 15-minute confirmation. So that's what I'll be doing in that zone. There might even be a set and forget on the 1 hour. Not really. There's really nothing there. So that's all I see on this chart right now. So I'll take a stab at that 4 hour zone for confirmation. Or what I'll do is just, like I said, wait for that daily zone to be hit where I'll look for 1 hour confirmation here. I'm very bullish on oil right now based on them adding to their longs twice in a row and creating a new high. And obviously we have that upward trend as well, which is very nice to see. So I think if price does come back to this daily zone, very high probability that it reacts off of it like that. And then we start to go back up to the 70s again on oil. Alright everyone, thanks again for watching this week's Forex forecast. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button as well if you don't mind. I really appreciate all the support. Let me know in the comments down below what pairs you're looking at this week, and maybe we can get in touch and you can send me a chart and let me know what you're looking at. I always like looking at charts. So with that being said, let's have a great trading week and let's make some money. Cheers.